Know thyself, young Padawan. So, I get the question, and we've discussed this on the previous one actually, about why you need a coach, why you need a personal trainer, why you need someone in your corner who can give you the guidance and the support you need. Because honestly, I think it is truly one of those things that is massively overlooked. And it goes deeper than, do this, do that. It's the level of accountability, it's the holding the standard, it's... Big one is really calling you on your bullshit. So I was talking with a prospective client this morning, and we're going through what the next phases are for them. And they were like, oh, well, honestly, I don't know how much of this I need. To be honest, I'm already really fit. I'm in great shape, and look, it's highlighted some areas to me that need to be worked on, but overall, I'm doing really good. And so I'm listening to this and, I'm like, okay, cool. And we get to the end of they get to the end of their bit and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so this is where you need some harsh truth. And I want you to feel this from the place of love. And that place where it is coming from. It is coming from love and care and consideration for you. But you are wrong. You're too close to the situation. You are right up in it. And I trying to be really polite in it, but you are flat out wrong. You are not in great shape. You have mastered one area of fitness, and it was just plain walking, and they were in pretty phenomenal shape for hiking. But everything else wasn't. Everything else was this big, gaping hole in their health and fitness. And so this was an in-person client, and I could tell from the moment they walked in that was going to be the case. And I'd had a previous phone call with them, and they'd said the similar things. And I was like, no, you are not in great shape. You have just practiced walking long enough that you're good at it. But you're not actually in good physical shape. There was muscle imbalances, there was weaknesses, there was problems that were going to cause injuries if they continued doing the level of activity that they were doing without addressing these issues. And then they wanted to say they've got this great tolerance for pain. And I was like, no, you don't. I've seen you quit on exercises because it got too much. And this isn't, and I say this again, this isn't to throw shade or judgment at this person, but I had to hold this space and this line. I had to give them the reality check. And that was hard for them, and it was hard for me. Because I don't want to be that negative person. I don't want to be like, no, you're in horrendous fucking shape. But their self-perception had gotten so out of whack that I had to pull them back down. Because I had to pull them back to reality. They're talking about these trips and these, things that they want to do. And I'm like, at this point in time, if you do this, I am worried that you will blow out a knee. I am worried that you will so horrendously injure yourself that you won't be able to come back from that. And they're like, oh. But they're too close to the situation. And we've spoken about it before. It's the scale of perception. So if I ask most people how they feel on a day-to-day basis, unless shit is really, really bad, most people will say somewhere between a 5 and a 7. Usually closer to the 7, maybe even an 8. When in reality, they're closer to a 1 or a 2. And this was an example. She's like, oh no, I'm in really great shape. I don't do anything for my upper body. That's what I need to work on. And I was like, no, you need to work on everything. Like, absolutely everything is what you need to work on. You're not in good shape. This is what we need to change. This is what we need to work on. And so we did the grading scale, and yep, what I thought. They were a 9 out of 10. I was like, you're probably a 2. Your physical fitness could be so much higher. Your nutrition and health and energy levels could be so much higher. Your responses to how stress in life could be so much higher. So we need to know thyself. But you can't ever truly know your weaknesses. You are blind to them. You have blind spots to your weaknesses, myself included. I have hired many coaches to write training programs for me over the years. And I've worked with many different people. And part of that is to learn off others who are further in a certain area of the field than I am, so that I can gain experience. And it's also that I will never ask anything of anyone that I haven't done, and most likely done 10 times harder. I will never demand something of someone I cannot handle. But I need coaches to do that, because I know what I like. I know what I enjoy. I know what I really want to focus on. And often I will do that at the detriment of things, the areas that I have weaknesses of. And this is a problem. And I still to this day do it. And we're all going to do it. We're going to put in the things that we like. I work fucking hard in my workouts. I push myself. I thrash myself in these things. And that's never going to change. But in the programming style, I choose the things that I like. I like hypertrophy. I like muscle building overall. As a general rule, I do not particularly like conditioning. And so when it's up to me, I nearly always programming hypertrophy. Maybe 1 or 2 days of conditioning. But predominantly, I will do hypertrophy, because that's what I fucking enjoy. I like lifting heavy shit. I like getting a filthy fucking pump. And especially because also on top of that, I generally work out in hoodies and thermals, so I'm covered up. I like to be able to feel that shit. So I'm always going to stick to what I like and what I know and what I am best at, not what I need. And this is why you need someone in your corner. This is why you need someone to hold you accountable. It's why having a coach isn't just telling you what to do, it's holding you to the standard that is attached to doing said thing. Because how many online programs are there? How many YouTube workouts are there? How many just free programs are out there? If it was just about access to the knowledge, everyone on the planet would be fit right now. Everyone. All of it's out there. And hell, even down to the detailed stuff, if you wanted to get into it and learn it all the stuff I know is out there, most likely for free or within reason, not that expensive. You can find most of it if you're willing to dig through hours and hours of, well, let's be real here, days, weeks, months, potentially years of data to find it. Or you can pay someone and skip all that and they tell you exactly what is perfect for you, what is dialed in for you, and then hold you to that standard. Because it's holding that standard that is the hardest part. It's being pushed past your limits. It's being told that, yeah, you are doing awesome, but you have more. Hey, you just conquered that bit, now we're going to make it harder. There's a thing in my gym that a lot of people have noticed. They're like, I never feel like I master anything. And I was like, you do. You crush it all the time. If we went back to the beginning, the weights you used at the start, it would be piss easy. But every time I see that you've made the jump, I make the jump for you. I push you to the next level. And you don't notice it because I'm just doing it for you. And that's why we have to step back and take an analysis of how far we've come and track that. It's part of why in 126 and, the 30-day challenges, that there is reviews and there's tracking your results so that at the end you can look back and go, fuck me, okay, that's how far I've come. That's how much I've done. That's where I've reached now. These are the types of things that we are looking for so that you can see the progress, but it's only in retrospect you can see it. In the moment, you're not going to see it because you just keep upping the ante. And this is why I say you need someone in your corner, because we don't know ourselves. Despite what we think, most of us actually have no idea. We have no idea what's going on in our brain. We live on autopilot and in just straight up habits, these subconscious programmings, and we have no idea what's running our lives. And even quite often I find the people who think that they are most enlightened, and myself included, not that I'm claiming to be enlightened, but people who think they know themselves well enough actually don't. They are actually hiding from something. And it's why in things like my 30-day challenge, one of the things is that you have to lose the headphones. You get out there on your weighted walk and you are doing it in silence. It's just you and the grind. And that's designed there specifically for a reason. Because in those moments, you are really going to get in tune. You are going to get in touch with yourself. You are going to learn who you truly are as a man. When shit hurts and your body is screaming at you to stop, when it's screaming that that's enough, and you go, no, we have more. We can go further. We can take this further. That's when you discover who you truly are. And even just in the silence, because as you progress, some of it won't all be full on and brutal. There'll be times where you're just cruising, and it's always fascinating to see what thoughts come to the surface, what things are bubbling up there that you might not even be consciously aware of, that it's not until you're in movement and you're in that silence and your brain can just process stuff without being bombarded with other things, that you realize, that issue that keeps arising keeps coming up in my thoughts. You know, that stress factor that I thought I was dealing with really well keeps pushing up into the surface. Maybe that's why I'm stressed out. Maybe that's why I'm not coping. Maybe this thing that keeps coming up is the reason why. And it's really eye-opening to discover who you are when you can't distract yourself, when you can't shut it all off, when you can't quieten the noise in your head, and you just have to be present. And I've had people flat out refuse to do it. They're like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. And I'm like, you need it more than anyone. It was like, as I said, when I gave up caffeine, you know, those first three days, I thought I was going to die. I was like, holy shit, I knew I needed caffeine, but I didn't realize I needed caffeine. Like, it highlighted how heavily addicted I was to it. It's the same with social media. It's the same with the TV. It's the same with the other things that I talk about that I hadn't been living. Those sedation tools that I hadn't lived through, that I hadn't pushed myself to get rid of. I was heavily addicted. And it was this giant, eye-opening, gaping chasm of, fuck, you've been leaving a shitload on the table. You have not been in touch with who you are. And that's why we need to find things like this. It's why we need to do things like the Chasing Greatness. It's why I need to do 126 to Greatness, the 30-day challenges, to really get to know thyself. Because I can guarantee you, pretty much 100% of the time, we'll call it 99.999% of the time, you don't know yourself as well as you think you do. You aren't in touch with all of your feelings and all those things that are under the surface as much as you think you are. And you need situational things that can push you to the level that is going to force you to face them, to wake up and realize where you're leaving shit on the table, and be someone there to hold that standard for you, to show you where you are not pushing yourself, to show you when you are not giving it your all, when you are not doing the work on that highest level that you need to be doing it on. That's when things change. That's when things get better. You need someone out of love, out of consideration, out of care for you to hold that standard. And often that hurts. Often that's scary. And as I said, I can speak from experience on that. When people have held me to the fire in the name of love, and it has revealed my hypocrisies, it has revealed my weaknesses, it has revealed my blind sides. I don't fucking enjoy it, but I'm appreciative post that. Because I can come out the other side as a better man, a more connected man, a more self-aware man. And I've said it many times, and I'll say it before, I'm by no stretch of the imagination a perfect man. I'm a deeply flawed human being who's going through this process to see how much better I can become. And I share it with you as we go through this. So I would challenge you to take some true evaluation, to get out there in silence with just you and you, and see who you truly are, to start questioning those things that you believe about yourself, and to determine if they are actually as true as you think they are, because there is a good possibility that they aren't, that you aren't all those things that you think you are. And that's a really daunting and powerful moment when you realize that. So it's time to know thyself. It's time to learn. And it's time to start examining those areas. So that is all I have for you right now. As always, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you took value from it. And if you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Send it to someone who needs to hear this, because I'm trying to start a movement. I'm trying to change lives. I'm trying to make a difference in this world, and I need your help to make that a reality. Next, if you are ready to take the next step and you want to see who you can truly become, please click the link in my bio. Join the Daily Greatness Mail and grab top 10 tips, top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness and transform your life. Lastly, if you are ready to take that first step to see who you can truly become, send me a message. Join my 30-day challenge, because anyone can do anything for 30 days. But those 30 days will completely and utterly transform your life. You'll know thyself by the end of it. So if you're ready for that challenge, if you're ready to see what's on the other side, then shoot me a message and let's make it a reality. Until then.